everyone. Today, I'm going to be talking about a new article, blog article I wrote about. Basically, talking about how to rank your video on YouTube with some SEO recommendations. Um, but let me just jump into the outline. So, I'm going to talk about how YouTube algorithm works for SEO. Talk about how to do keyword research, how to optimize the actual video content for SEO, and then how to amplify and promote your videos across other social channels in particular. And last but not least, how to figure out whether your video's performance is actually good. So everyone knows about YouTube. It's definitely one of the most popular social media platforms and tethered to search engine as well. It's owned by Google. It's free. Anyone can build videos without paying anything. So I would highly recommend people to test it. Do something you like, you're interested in, what you're knowledgeable about. I think everyone should really take advantage of this. It's a great way to promote and offer to other people what you have to give. So I understand because there's so many videos out there, so many people doing this too. There's a lot of competition, right? So how do you go and get more impressions? How are you gonna get more views, right? The only way is really one way is obviously to share your content across other channels, which I'll get into, right? And the other way is really to show up in YouTube's search engine results. Believe it or not, people do still search for videos in the search engine, and also particularly in Google.com. Sometimes when you go to Google, you'll see those video search results show up, right? That's because those keywords search intent, or why people are searching for these keywords. They're looking for visual video content, for instance. All right, so what does YouTube care about? If you want to rank high in their search engine results, what do you need to care about? First of all, your video content needs to have the keywords, the relevant keywords that people search for, with especially keywords that have a search volume. I'll jump into that later when I talk about keyword research, right? So you need to have keywords inside the metadata. We call it like the title, the description, right, in the actual video page, so that search engine crawlers, they're kind of like robots, computers, right? They can better understand what your video is about. They're not like humans, where we watch the video and we know what it's about. If they see a picture, the search engine is not going to know what the picture is about. It needs these metadata to help it understand. Yeah, it needs context, keywords particularly, and encoding, HTML, format so that it can understand. Second thing is the quality of the video, right? I'm sure indirectly, helps from a user experience, right? If you're using low resolution and it's not clear video, I'm sure people may or may not want to continue to watch the video, and that leads to bounce, right? They leave the video page, they go elsewhere because they don't want to watch it. So that's not a good sign, right? So you want to make sure your quality is good. Obviously, if you can use high definition, great, right? 4K, whatever, it's all great. But you just gotta make sure that your video quality is not poor, or else it can hurt your rankings. And despite how your content is really good, your quality is not there. It's not, right. Engagement. All right, so how do we measure engagement? Well, how long are people staying on your video when they're watching, right? Are they interacting, right? Are they clicking on the links? Are they commenting, subscribing, liking, sharing? These are ways that Google or YouTube, sorry, kind of measure the value of each video. And then more importantly, I also mentioned previously, obviously watch time is going to be important. It doesn't really have to be the longest video, right? It doesn't need to be like an hour, 2 hours or more. Most videos I would recommend don't be that long. You probably want to structure them to be like less than 30 minutes at most. 30 minutes kind of still long. So you probably want to, I'd say definitely 10 minutes is probably a good benchmark for content that doesn't require a lot of explaining, or doesn't need to go that in depth. Because you can imagine people want to find information quick. They want to learn some things quick, easy to understand. They don't want to spend so much of the time, which they don't really have anyway, right? On looking at something that they still won't even understand entirely because it's too complicated. Obviously, explaining something too long. Next thing you know is keyword research, right? There's some free tools, believe it or not. Google Trends. This tool will help you know how people are searching at the particular time, at a particular region versus everything else. So higher search interest means that this topic or keyword you're looking at is, very popular, very in demand. But doesn't tell you directly the search volume, so don't get confused or mix it up. um, Ahrefs. It also provides a free YouTube keyword research tool. Believe it or not, it's free. So obviously, there are other great tools out there for YouTube keyword research, but they're not free. I can recommend like TubeBuddy, vidIQ. Those are some great YouTube tools out there to use. But if you just want to play around, don't have money to spend yet, these two I highly recommend you can dig into. I also have another video talking about how to use the Google Trends to research YouTube videos. So definitely check out that video and also the blog content. Yeah, so optimizing the video page, YouTube video page, is very, very important. There's a couple things that you need to be aware of when it comes to optimizing to making sure your content ranks well in the search engine results. First off, the video thumbnail, right? The picture, the picture that people see when they are in the search engine results. It's like an ad, right? Is your image attractive enough, informational enough for people to click on it? Right? It's going to be important, so don't neglect that. And then the second one here is watch time. Yeah, I mentioned that previously. All right, so I mentioned also metadata, right? Here's one of them, video title. All right, video title is probably the number one thing that's going to tell the search engine what this video is about, and they care about it quite heavily. So don't underutilize this. This is pretty much the bread and butter of SEO. Even for websites, the title tag is probably, if not the most essential element of ranking, right? Even though your article has a lot of text context, but understand that search engine, they need sort of this like initial preview of what your page is about, and they use these titles to kind of understand quickly, okay, what is your website related to, what keywords, topics, right? So making sure those keywords are in there is very important. And then they publish, yes, that's important, right? Sometimes freshness is important. Imagine from a user standpoint, people want to see more recent, newer content, right? So that's going to be important to publish new content frequently, and sometimes you might want to update old content too. Video description is the other metadata that you want to focus on. So video description, in YouTube, it does sort of help the algorithm understand better. It's not like Google meta descriptions for websites where it doesn't help at all. It just helps users to know what the page is related to. So, but YouTube pages, the description, believe it or not, it's critical. It does tie to or help search engine crawlers understand what your video content is related to. So understand the title doesn't have enough character space for you to squeeze in all the text you need, right? That's why you need to utilize the video description, which probably has, if I recall correctly, it's like a couple thousand. I forgot it was 1,000, 4,000, character space that you can use. So definitely take advantage of it, but definitely don't try to make it too bulky with a lot of irrelevant or not useful information in there as well. A lot of people also try to incorporate links. It's a great place to add links to your, like for instance, I want you guys to click on my article. I put my related article in this video description. But you can also, click to have people click to other social media channels you own or other places. Who knows, right? If you have a video script, even better. What's more popular for the past few years now is the timestamps, right? Sometimes people want to jump to a particular section of the video. So adding those timestamps in the video description is also a plus. And then likes and shares, last but not least, likes and shares. All right. That's why you keep watching these videos and people always say, please subscribe. Well, subscribe is the number one thing they value the most for YouTube. All right. And then push notifications, also another one now. I mean, the bell, the bell notification. Sorry, not push notification. But likes and shares is also important, right? The more likes you get, the more shares you have versus your competitors who are ranking for the same keywords in the YouTube results. Guess what? Who's going to rank better? More unlikely, right? And then they didn't say in this image, but comments is also going to be important. It's a place where people can actually build links to, and drive traffic from your page to your other pages. So it's also a great place for people to understand whether this video, sometimes people look at it, is worth watching, right? Because there's a lot of negative feedback. Why would you want to watch the video, right? It's a quick way to analyze if a video is worth your time. Same thing with Facebook. If people still use it, I do. I can read an article quickly by figuring out, hey, is this worth my time, by looking at the comment section, right? But be careful. Comments can be biased. So definitely want to use it wisely to your advantage, but don't neglect it because it's UGC, user generated content. What is that? Google's favorite type of content when people create their own content, all right? Not like me creating this video. Imagine someone comment on my video page right now. That's your content or that other person's content. Google likes it when different users create their own content on top of particular content. It shows that there's strong engagement, right? That's the best way to measure whether the content is good, is when they not just like and not just share, but they have something to say about it more. So that's when you have a really good, strong, solid content, when people are willing to share and talk about it even more. And that essentially ties back to SEO link building when you think about it. Pretty cool, right? All right. Oh, I didn't mention captions, but yeah, definitely captions gonna be critical, right, from a user experience standpoint. And transcripts are kind of tied together, right? If you have caption, why don't you have transcript for search engine crawler to know what your video is talking about? It all can be converted to text anyway. So promote your videos is very important because Google search engines or YouTube takes time. It's not going to be right away like paid media or earned media or other referral ways of promoting your content out there quickly. So that's why I recommend using social media platform, because still is probably one of the best ways to promote something. And it's kind of like word of mouth marketing, like back in the day when, if your product is good, let's say, I don't know, I'm just giving an example. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. iPhone is one of those products I feel that people know about. Everybody knows about it. It's like word of mouth. People are like, oh, did you know I use this iPhone? It's great. Highly recommend it. User experience is so good. The person trusts this person. It's their family, it's their friend. Guess what? It's going to spread easily because they trust that person. So social media kind of like piggyback on that sort of, but from a digital perspective. Same thing, right? If you like this page, Facebook page, if you follow this person on Twitter, you obviously already established a trust there. So if they share something, more than likely you're going to believe and trust what they have to share is also something valuable to you or beneficial to you, and not like an advertisement or fake news, like those false information where people can't trust those information. So that's why definitely utilize social platform. It could be these three: Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It could be TikTok. It could be Pinterest. It could be other channels like forums too, like Reddit, right? So think about how your industry utilize these other platforms, and that's why you want to use those to help amplify your organic or own media content more quickly to get garner organic rankings and results. Last but not least, I just want to talk about, so how do you know if your video has great content? You may think it's great content, your viewers may think it's great content, but if there is no likes, comments, and shares, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. So it's always important to encourage them to do that. You can also use other ways to intrigue, entice people to do that. If you don't mention it, it's probably not going to happen, right? They watch the video and they feel, oh, it's so great. But guess what? They didn't kind of provide feedback to the search engine. The search engine doesn't know it's great. So this is how they measure it. Unfortunately, they're not that smart yet, right? So that's how you have to utilize these, I guess, tools out there for you to show that your video is good. All right. So yeah. So make sure you get a chance. If you have to create your own video channel, I would highly recommend. If you're in marketing, that's a no-brainer. If you have your own business, yeah, I'm sure no matter what target audience you have, even B2B, global particularly, don't neglect these social media channels because they will and will still be a great channel to help your digital marketing ecosystem. Um, so it's just understand what channels are best for a TA. Personally, I like YouTube. I gather a lot of information, news, educational, self-help, all from YouTube because there's just a lot of great content out there. All right. So if there are any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. Comment below. Go to my website, fill out the contact us form, or feel free to contact us through other social media channels directly. I'm fine with that. All right. Make sure to subscribe. Like I said, like the video if you like it, and leave a comment too to show what you learned, or if there's any questions too. That's a great place for that. All right. Thank you.